Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. For today's episode in our noisy Napoli series, we have the game against Fiorentina in the Italian Cup final. If you didn't watch the last episode, we ended the season very poorly in 9th place, 57 points, and a huge gap between ourselves and Juventus, who are top of the table. I said in the beginning of the season, they weren't necessarily dominant, they were not as dominant as they are in real life, but they've proved me wrong, and they've finished head and shoulders again above Inter, and of course every other team. Really, the gap was just incredible, and that's credit to them for putting together such a good team. In terms of our own situation, the board are incredibly unhappy. The job security is really poor, and the likelihood is if I don't win today, then that means I'm going to be fired. I thought they would be very unhappy with Europa League football, and that I would get fired for not qualifying for the Champions League. But apparently it looks like they're kind of okay with settling for it. But the likelihood is next season they'll probably want to see some progress and see us back in the Champions League. The only way I get into Europa League now, obviously, because we're in 9th, is if I win this cup final. Fiorentina themselves have qualified already, so they might not necessarily have, more reason than us to try and win this trophy, other than the fact that it is a trophy, of course. And I think 6th place just about gets you into the 3rd round or something like that. So that means that if they win this, then they can go straight into the Europa League rather than 3rd qualifying round. So rather than battling, so technically they do have a bit to fight for. So in terms of what happened since that last episode, I think it was the Chivo result. But either way, as you can see, these results don't necessarily matter too much. We beat Roma, we drew with AC Milan, and we lost to Pescara 3-2 in the final day of the season, despite going ahead and winning for the majority of the game. Behabek and the Pepereno goal gave Pescara all 3 points to actually still keep them in the division. If they had lost or even drawn, I think, this game, they would have been relegated instead of Crotone or Bologna. They had a lot to fight for, but still disappointing result. There's a lot of disappointing results in our season. We only won 4 times more than we lost, and we won only 3 times more than we drew. So just an incredible amount of draws and losses. And just finishing below AC Milan is kind of the shock to it. It was a very, very poor season by all means, and it's surprising that the board have kept me on, but I'm hoping a win today will keep me in the job, and that way I can still hopefully recover next season, if we do continue the series at least. Today's all about a cup competition, and I think we could get straight into it. It's against Fiorentina. They finished above us, like we said, and it's all about trying to prove our worth, trying to prove why we should be playing, why we should stay on, why we should be putting this poor season behind us. So everyone's available other than Emmanuel, who's injured, but we can still keep him on the bench. Strinic is suspended for the game, and we'll talk more about who's starting afterwards. But for now, we can just discuss the tactical tweaks. So I've thrown in one last tactical tweak to try and save my job, which is to switch to a more defensive version of the normal 4-2-3-1. So we've gone to a 4-2 defensive midfield combo, 4-2-3-1 defensive midfield combo instead, and we've gone for both inside forwards on either flank. We've got wing backs on either flank as well to complement those inside forwards. We're still sticking with the shadow striker, but I think I do want to go for a deep lying forward support one instead. Just for this game. I think later on, if they're not performing too well, we can switch to complete forward. It's just because when you play a shadow strike, it says usually coupled with a deep lying forward. I don't know whether they literally meant a deep lying forward. They probably meant just the striker who plays it on a support role or a bit deeper than a advanced forward, for example. But I do like the combination that deep lying forward gives, and I think Pavlotti and Milik as well, both will be comfortable playing that role, I think. Though I do think Milik can play the complete forward support. I think it does suit them, the complete forward support, so we might switch it later on. But for now, let's just start off on the deep line forward role and see how that goes. And that's kind of the tactical tweak we made. We're playing with a Registar now and a defensive midfielder on support. I feel like it suits our tactic a lot more. I've tried it with other teams as well. We've gone back to a structured team shape. It suits the thing, you know, what we're trying to do. We just have offside trap, use tighter marking and shorter passing as our team instructions. We've gotten rid of shoot on sight because it didn't make any sense. It was actually a mistake on my behalf of an interpretation of tactics, and I think that's kind of it. Did we have 4 team instructions, or was it 5 before? I think we had get stuck in as well, so we got rid of that as well because we do have a defensive midfielder on support who already tackles harder. You know, if we have the get stuck in, then it's likely that he'll get sent off a lot as well. So I think we have a decent balance now, a decent team shape about us and the roles and such. So we can finally just try and kick off, and we'll talk more about who's starting and why. Yeah, Fiorentina definitely won't be easy opposition. I think I would have loved to have checked the past meetings between us. Sorry about that. And we can actually probably still do that. Let me try and find a way. Alright. Yeah, past meetings. I think, yeah, 2 draws. So obviously it's a cup final, so if there's another draw, we'll go straight into the into extra time or possibly penalties. But the point is that, you know, we want to try and win this game from the get-go. They're playing a 4-3-3, which is interesting, of course. We do have our own midfield 3, but they are quite separated, and we're hoping that these two won't be able to take advantage of the space over here for us. But anyways, yeah, so we've got Pavlotti instead of Milik starting today's game. He's been playing well recent games, so Milik has been dropped because of his poor form himself as well. Kalyon and Mertens as well as Hamsik are straightforward, you know, attacking 3 behind the striker. Even our midfielders are, you know, first choice. Actually, it's really just a first choice all around. I've actually made the mistake of starting Pepe Reina instead of Rafael. For today's game. It is a cup competition, so normally our backup goalkeeper plays. But then again, having said that, it's a good mistake to make because of course Pepe Reina is our first choice goalkeeper. And yeah, I mean, Ghulam, Said, Koulibaly, Albiol, it's a full strength side other than our strikers. Hopefully Pavlotti can prove that he's not the weak link in this team. The odds are that we're the favourites, and apparently the team talk suggests that as well, so I'm going to go with the you deserve the trophy and I expect you to win at team talk, and hopefully players can respond and we can get a good result here and we'll finish off the season with a trophy despite the poor league performance. Did quite well in cup competitions overall, to be honest. Champions League we reached met expectations and just about lost out to Barcelona. And obviously in the Italian Cup, it wasn't an important competition to the board, but obviously it's turned important because of its value in terms of getting into Europa League football, considering how our you know, league form went. So an early injury here is not a good way to use one of your substitutes, and it's worse that you're taking off a first team player in El Sayed. So hopefully Maggio can step up instead of him. But yeah, no real highlights so far. And it looks like it's a bit tight in terms of the players. But there you go, first highlight of the game. Kalyon's got it, plays Maggio, and he almost scores. And actually, I think somewhere in there, someone had a clear-cut chance, but the match engine isn't considering it one. Another corner, apparently this time Fiorentina's favour. Please do not let them win that. Pavlotti counter, nope. Teo instead finds Tomovic. And yeah, that's way too easy. Goalkeeper getting caught out. As well as defenders not, you know, getting their man and catching their players, I suppose, man marking properly. But really, a goalkeeper's just way off his line. I mean, once it goes there, you should be switching to your left. And instead, he's far out, not really to... Yeah, I really think, obviously, it's a combination of defending and goalkeeping, but I really think that's more of a goalkeeper's mistake there. But either way, we have to deal with the reality of it, and now we might go into half-time 1-0 down. Pavlotti not having a good game at all, so I think I'll just go back to complete forward support. Maybe he'll appreciate that he's you know, more familiar with the role, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, if he's having a bad game, he's just having a bad game really. We'll have to take him off for Milik, who will definitely be, you know, fired up after being dropped for cup final for Pavlotti. Alright, So Fiorentina look to try and make it 2 before the break, and we're going to try and defend as well. Bit of a weird highlight that. It was just a terrible shot from Teo, but for some reason it's apparently important. We've had 7 shots to their 9, 2 on target to their 4, but no real clear cut or half chances, so that's not good at all. We need a more improved performance from our midfielders in particular. Both Hamsik and Pavlotti are having a terrible game. We do have the option of playing him as an attacking midfielder. Is a bit more appreciative of that. Has get forward further already. Okay, that's good. Maybe that would work a little bit better. Let's see. Alright. So definitely telling them off is the go-to. Oops, this again looking to make... I meant faith, I didn't mean make the difference, but making the difference is just, it's good, I suppose. And yeah, I mean, Hamsik and Pavlotti both have performed quite poorly, but not as bad. Hopefully the halftime team talk can inspire them, but yeah, not bad enough to necessarily take them off at halftime. That's a bit much to ask, or to do really, you know. But let's see, actually we should switch into attacking. We do need a goal badly. Fiorentina are growing into this game more than they are defending. They just seem to be getting better and better while we're hardly cruising by. Definitely be looking to make some substitutions soon. Let's do that now actually. Alright, so Pavlotti, you've had 60 minutes, we've done nothing with it. We'll bring on Milik. And really I think our only other choice is Hamsik for Rog. And let's try and do that and see what happens. Alright boys, a youngster and a first team choice striker. Let's see what they can do. Basically asking them to save my career really. Alright, so now Fiorentina have finally gone into the defensive and we can switch into a little bit more of an, show more attacking intent. Let's do that. That's pretty much it. Alright. Need to play a bit more riskier. Gone from control into attack, and we've also used some team instructions that should switch, you know, things into our favour a bit. But having said that, it's the 80th minute. We've created that one half chance now, but nothing serious. Let's go to overload. Let's keep moving complete forward. Let's do that. I think that's kind of it, isn't it? Yeah, let's do that. Alright boys. Not even a single highlight in our favour. Okay, maybe this one. If we can win the ball back and hit Fiorentina, but by the looks of it, they're going to go try and score solo. Nope, Koulibaly has other plans. Kind of a difficult ball for Rog, and instead, he obviously can't win that header. And that is just a poor pass from Koulibaly, really. Just play on the floor for the guy. He looks tiny compared to the defenders. Either way, Fiorentina still on attack, playing patiently, trying to catch us out. Allen puts in the stupidest tackle we've ever seen, and he's going to get sent off his team in the final moments of the game, which we really needed him in. Having said that, it looks like this Napoli save was kind of doomed after that poor, well, not poor start really, but inconsistencies. And there's about a minute and 20 seconds left, so I'm not even going to bother with the tactics here. Credit to Fiorentina, they've played decently. It was up to us to break them down, and we didn't do that, so that's, you know, on us really. They've scored, they did their bit, they did their goal. There's no need for them to go any more attacking. Now they're going to go straight into Europa League. They'll be happy with their season, to be honest. We'll have a look at the season preview and see where they were expected. We were expected in second, I think, or even third. So hugely underperformed. And this was not as how the save was meant to go, but it's an opportunity to try and take on another team and start a new series, which is always exciting, of course. Alright, so No need to tell everyone off again. I'm leaving anyways. Alright, let's see what this says after saving game. Will the board even bother talking to me, or are they just gonna fire me from the get-go? If they keep me on, I'd be incredibly surprised. I mean, definitely way more patient than the Valencia board. If you've missed it, you should watch the Valencia series. Yeah, that looks like no job. Oh no. Okay, that's weird. That is so weird. They still want to talk. I tried this one before. No way. Oh my god. That's incredible. Is amazing. They've actually given me more time despite finishing in 9th. I mean, look at that board confidence there, and in the final we missed out on our Europa League chance. We're not going to have any money for... I mean, it says the money now, but I really doubt that I should even spend that, considering we're not getting European football. We're on 6 million right now. To be honest, I'm quite done with this save. I don't feel like there's any need to carry on with the way we went on. No, I think I'll just start a new series, to be honest with you guys. That was just, I did not expect that at all. And credit to the board, but nah. I think half the squad are going to want to leave now because there's no European football. And we don't have the money to replace them. I've got a number of players have asked to leave actually. I think Koulibaly, Zielinski and Jorginho already asked to leave. And that's some key players there. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to trying to bring anyone in really, so I think just leave it. Maybe they're just happy because of the wages, so that's why they've kept me on, but nah, I'm not going to continue this save the way it's gone, and no European football as well, so that just doesn't make any sense. And yeah, just to give you a bit of an idea of their history, so this is Napoli here in the Italian Serie B. They got promoted really from 2005 to 6. They just went on an incredible run. I mean, look at this sort of V-shaped graph, I suppose, and since then they kind of stepped it up, and you know, credit to them in recent histories when they really start to become a top Italian team. But you can kind of see how they're, you know, sort of in the European football one year and out of European football the next. So 6th here, 3rd here, back down to 5th, so Europa League football. God knows if in 2010-11 I haven't actually had a look, but this would technically be Champions League football, but they still have to qualify for the group stages. So God knows what they went through, otherwise it would have been Europa League football. 2nd here, so Champions League again, but God knows again if it's through to group stages. Europa League football, and then Champions League football, and now no European football. So they've been, you know, in and around European football for a while now, and we just kind of went back to, we regressed to 2009-10, almost close to 08-09 really. But yeah, I think that's the end of that series, so we'll see who will take on. Maybe we'll start a series in Germany or either France, maybe even a smaller league, or a smaller team even. Back in England, for example, we can take on a Sky Bet League 2 team, for example, and try and take them up the ranks. We'll see what seems the most interesting. You can comment below as well your suggestions, and I'll be interested to take in as well. And we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if you did enjoy today's episode, of course, please do hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Football Manager content. And as always, guys, thank you all very much for watching.